Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I thought we could hang out, do a little chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to be putting on this makeup that you see here. So if you're excited to hang out, I want to hear how everybody's Thanksgiving was. I want to hear any holiday plans. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, as we get started, I already primed my face. I did just use the Hydro Touch from NYX and my Hocus Focus primer. I'm almost done with this. I really had a hard time getting it out today, so that's exciting. And I just kind of mixed those two together and rubbed it all over my face. And then I put some concealer on my lids, especially to try to cover this inner corner here because I have very dark inner corners. And then I did a little bit of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer on top of that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeshadow first. I'm gonna be playing with my Sigma Enchanted palette today. This is newer to me and I'm really excited to try to get to know it. I've worn it 2 or 3 times at this point, so today I wanted to play with a different color. I think I'm gonna play with this like greenish gold here. So I'm really hoping that it's as pretty on my eyes as it is in the pan, because in the pan it might be my favorite shade in here. So basically I'm gonna start by setting my lid with this like blank kind of, oh, it's called Quartz shade. And I'm just gonna fluff that everywhere. So I think I'm gonna use the brush that came with this palette today. I've never tried a Sigma brush, so I'm hoping that these are as good as quality as what you would get if you ordered them single, like separately. Let me know in the comments if you know how this brush holds up to their other brushes. But I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm tempted to use this shade Innocent, but it pulls very mauve on me from what I can tell. So I think what I wanna do, since this is like such a warm shade, I think what I'm gonna try to do is use this dark brown over here, Terra, and try to just start building it really slow. Hopefully it won't be too pigmented off the jump, but we'll see. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit, so let's see if we can just build this up to begin with. It looks like so far so good. Like it doesn't go on too pigmented at first. That's good. Okay, so I'm really liking how this is building so far. By the way, I'm gonna switch back and forth between talking about what I'm using and also just talking about life in general, because why else would you do a chatty get ready with me? So I really want to know in the comments, how was everyone's Thanksgiving? I can't believe it's been a while since I've done a chat get ready with me. So it's about time that I catch up with all of you, and I want to know how, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, how was your Thanksgiving? For Beau and I, it's always a tricky holiday. It's one that, I think that it's one that means a lot more to us than we realize. Like when we first got here, our first Swedish Thanksgiving, which they don't have Thanksgiving in Sweden, but our first Thanksgiving here in Sweden, we were like, oh, it's not a big deal. We didn't really plan to do anything. Beau had to work that day and we were just gonna pretend like it was another day until that day got here, and then we were so homesick. Like I've never felt so homesick, and I was pretty homesick when we moved here, but it just turned up like 100 times on that specific day. Before we continue on with the story, I'm gonna do some more eyeshadow explaining. I'm gonna use the NYX Glitter Glue. From what I've learned so far with this palette is that the shimmers, while very pretty and very glittery, they do seem to work best with a glitter glue, which isn't always, like I'm usually a little bit lazy, but I'm gonna use this glitter glue today. And what I like to do is just put some on the back of my hand. I use my finger and kind of spread it out some, and then I will lightly tap it on my eyelid, and then I'll do one eyelid at a time and apply the glitter or apply the shadow down, and then I'll do my other one. So that's what I'm doing while you are listening to the story. Okay, yes, so what I was saying about Thanksgiving is our first Thanksgiving here, we were like hit with very unexpected, very bad homesickness. Beau ended up getting off work early and we met at the grocery store and we got everything we needed and came home and cooked the Thanksgiving meal that evening. And it helped some, but I think from that first experience we kind of realized, okay, Thanksgiving is going to be one of the harder days to get through. So we were kind of emotionally prepared this time around. This is our third Thanksgiving here. Our second one, Beau ended up taking the whole day off, and that's so super helpful to just be with each other that day. But this one, we kind of also knew that this is going to be a tough one. 2020, it's no secret, has been a tough year for a lot of people. And so we kind of went in expecting this is going to be a particularly tough one. We need to kind of stick together. But honestly, the second year when we made like our traditional Thanksgiving meals, it was delicious, but it also kind of still made us feel lonely in that, like, you have this beautiful giant meal, but like it was just me and Beau. And so even though I love Beau, it still kind of reminded us of like how being super lonely. So this year for Thanksgiving, we decided to do, my family growing up did a low country boil. We never ate traditional like turkey and dressing and that kind of thing. So we decided we wanted to fry some shrimp. We weren't going to do a full-on low country boil. We weren't going to do a full-on Thanksgiving traditional meal, but we wanted to do just some comfort food and some fried shrimp. So the weekend before Thanksgiving here, we ended up going to like the big grocery store, took a bus out to like a big grocery store so we'd have a good chance of finding uncooked shrimp, because we noticed in our little local grocery stores that we can like walk to or bike to, they only sell like boiled, already pre-boiled or pre-cooked shrimp. So we wanted to find uncooked shrimp so that we could fry it. And oh my goodness, we read all the packages. We thought we found a package that was uncooked. We even went to the register and asked, like, are you sure this is uncooked shrimp? And she was like, she looked at us like we were crazy, and she's like, yeah. So we ended up checking out with like 2 bags of what we thought was uncooked shrimp. And then of course on the day of Thanksgiving, it was just a hot mess. We opened up the bags and were about to start peeling them so that we could fry them, and they were all cooked. So we had to pivot immediately. We were planning on making some grits. Luckily my parents had sent over some grits, or our parents had sent over some, like a care package with some grits in it. So we ended up just pivoting and making shrimp and grits, which was delicious, but definitely unexpected to open up your bag of shrimp that should be uncooked and it's all boiled. Okay, I went ahead and zoomed you back out, and now I'm just gonna kind of put some pore filling primer in. This is one heck of a blot. It's mostly a mattifying primer, but I do think it's a little thicker than some of my other primers, so sometimes I use it because I do mostly get oily like right here in my T-zone, and those are also where I have the largest pores. I want to go ahead and kind of double this up as like a pore filler, even though it's not the best pore filling primer. But I think I'm gonna try to use this up next year, so I'm just trying to get a head start and determine if it's something that I should put into like a year-long project pan or what. And then also I have my little NYX, this is the like under eye corrector. I'm so close to being done with this. Like I really want to have it done by our next update, which is like the 15th of this month, but I am worried that I won't be able to finish it by that point. So I decided today that, you know what, I'm gonna see if it works with correcting some of my like imperfections on my skin. Like normally I would use a concealer to do this kind of correction, but I thought to myself, why not give this a try and just see how it works as like a little skin tone corrector. I mean, it should work, right? And then I still want to use it underneath my eyes. I'm not gonna do lashes today because I'm just gonna work on some other things around the house, so I'm not trying to get all too extra. And also I'm gonna wear lashes like pretty much tomorrow and the next day, so I like to give my lashes a little bit of a break. But as I do my concealer, which I always like to do one round of it before I put on foundation, and then as I do my foundation, I'm gonna switch back to talking a little bit about the holidays and how I'm doing mentally, that kind of thing. I do want to start out by saying I hope that me updating you on like my mental health and stuff after miscarriage isn't like too much of like droning on about the same thing. But I also think that it's definitely a journey that I'm still on, and I think it's a complicated thing. So I know on Thanksgiving, like we sat down and we were eating our meal, and during the meal we stopped and did the, like our families normally ask like, what's something that you're thankful for this year? So Bo and I were asking each other like, what are you thankful for this year? And I lost it, like unexpected. It was completely unexpected. We were having a somewhat good day despite like being thrown for a loop with the shrimp, but you know, for the most part, it had been a nice day. We had been together all day. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know is that I'm like bawling like a baby, because I think it was just that realization of like, man, it's been a hard year. 2020 has been a hard year for a lot of people, but specifically I think I was really struck by, you know, at this point in the year, like if things had gone a different way, I would be 8 months pregnant. My first miscarriage happened in April and I would have been due in December. I would have been literally about to pop probably. And then also the second miscarriage happened in August, and I would have been far enough along that I would have been showing, and it would have been kind of a really nice thing to be thankful for, a baby, a healthy baby growing inside me. But instead I kind of had to come to that realization of that's not what I can say I'm thankful for this year. I still have other things that I'm thankful for, but I think it was important for me to realize that like I'm still grieving, and it's okay to still be grieving. I know it might sound silly, but one of the things that also kind of made me feel better that day and in the week following or so was just kind of like normalizing my grief and normalizing the fact that 2020 has been such a rough year. The holidays are just so bright and cheery and happy. We have lights, we have Christmas trees. I'm gonna set my face with the Rimmel Stay Matte powder, but also what I was saying is that the reality is that I have to realize too that a lot of people struggle this time of the year. I think it is the juxtaposition of like having like such a happy time, people celebrating with family and stuff, it kind of does make you reflect on the year in total, and it's not uncommon for people to struggle with that kind of maybe not feeling 100% or feeling down, and that's not, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. So it may sound funny, but honestly, the fact that I could normalize that for myself this past week was a really helpful thing. And you know, there were some other things too. Bo and I have, since the last miscarriage and since my body took the time it needed to heal, we've been trying to get pregnant again. And it's so hard to have those months where you get your hopes up. It's honestly an emotional roller coaster where you like build your hopes up, you work hard, you like feel like you possibly, this might be the month, we might be pregnant this month, and then you're not. And that, it's such a like nervous, those 2 weeks of waiting to see and find out if you're gonna be pregnant. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's up and down, and quite frankly, it's exhausting a little bit. So now that I'm also aware of that, I'm trying to do some extra self-care things. I'm trying to do some things to safeguard like my mental health during those time periods. I feel like I'm so lucky to have like good friends who check in on me regularly and like make sure that I'm okay. I have a couple friends that regularly schedule like video chats with me, and again, I'm just so thankful for like those good friends. And then I also have just new friends that I'm meeting here in general, like people I've met on from YouTube and from Instagram interactions, and people who keep in touch, even if it's just little small tidbits here and there. It really makes such a difference. Anytime someone comments or sends me a message, like honestly, I can't tell you enough. And then I also had a friend recently send me a care package, and it's just, I don't know, I think what I'm trying to say is like feeling cared for, it makes me feel stronger, and I really appreciate when all of you do those things. And I didn't expect to get emotional, but I can feel it coming on a little bit, so I'm gonna start to change to a slightly lighter subject. And before I forget to mention it, I used my Marc Jacobs bronzer for like obviously bronzing, and then I'm gonna use my Natasha Denona palette for highlight, and then I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna use this one for blush. It's a little bit more neutral than what's in this palette, but yeah. But as we change subjects, this will be the first like Christmas holiday season ever that we aren't going home to visit. We've always gone home for like about 2 or 3 weeks during Christmas time in the past. But with Corona and that kind of thing, it doesn't feel safe enough for us to travel home. We would risk infecting ourselves and our family, and I don't know what I would do with the guilt if I ended up getting my family members sick. So we are gonna stay home this Christmas, which I do anticipate will be pretty difficult, but luckily I've been uploading quite a bit more, if you haven't noticed already this month. I didn't plan to do like Vlogmas or anything like that where you upload every day. I mean, I know it's a thing, but it's I wonder why so many people do it, but like everybody and their mom is uploading videos every day. I love it, I love the content, but it's just interesting to me that it happens in December and like maybe not just like July. I don't know, I'm curious. If you know why, let me know in the comments. Is it just the holiday season that's got everybody pumped? I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just something that I just like, oh, didn't realize this was a thing, really? But because I know it's a thing, I did start to plan some videos. So I'm trying to get videos up Monday through Friday of every Monday through Friday of this month. And honestly, I'm really kind of glad for the like mental escape of it all. Like it's giving me something to do with my time. It's giving me something to focus on, and that's really nice too. Not to mention that I get to interact with y'all a little bit more on a more frequent basis, so that's also really nice. Okay, and I gotta remember to do my lower lash line because sometimes I outright forget. But yeah, since Bo and I are staying here, I'm definitely curious to know what y'all have planned. If you have any Christmas or holiday plans, what are they? Are you excited about them? Maybe I can live vicariously through you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put on mascara, but I probably won't talk through this process. Okay, mascara is done. It got a little clumpy on me, but we're just gonna roll with it. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my lip liner, which is in the shade Hush Hush. I talk about this all the time. I love it from Buxom. And then this is just a Revlon like lipstick. It's a kind of like a creamy formula. I'm gonna use that to like top this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. Okay, here's that little lip combo on. I really like this little combo. I haven't worn this lipstick in a while, honestly. I don't know why, because it's such a good lipstick, like such a nice creamy shade, and it's really easy to wear. But yeah, I really enjoyed this little lip combo. And I believe that's everything for today's video. Make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. How was your holidays? Do you have plans for Christmas? Again, don't be shy. Make sure you say hello, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.